how do I let me in? Okay, I can't go inside. Excellent. Anyways. Thank you for the hydrate. But yeah, how was everyone's weekend? Trying to think of like what all I got up to. This weekend was mostly like a rest weekend in preparation, I guess, for Indie FurCon, which you're gonna be going to next weekend. I wanted to get more done. I know at some point I need to do like the job application thing. I got one job app in today. Oh, hold up. I got an achievement. In the Hansel's honeymoon hideaway job, wait in the carriage for 30 seconds. Well, good to know. Anyways. But yeah, so like I've just been like, this meeting was mostly just if I get the job for the place I'm interning at, I'll gift him something on my first paycheck. I mean, listen, listen, you. Okay, I will accept this, but also you find some way to celebrate yourself, okay? Seriously, I don't think I need the extension. Anyways. But yeah, I did a little bit of cooking this week. I made one meal. I made financial responsibility first. Yeah, exactly. If I find out anyone is like giving, like if I find out that you're giving above your means, like if you're like you're going into debt because you want to give to my stream, I will actually just like ban you. I don't want that shit on my fucking conscience. Listen, okay, it's a little different for you, Phoenix, because I actually know you have like A, stable employment, and B, like, you know, a stable place to live. It was time to remortgage the house to fund Starkey's move to Canada. Listen, I'm actively doing my best to try and save. Like, I'm gonna be aggressively saving for the next few months to try and my absolute hardest, so that way, like, I don't have to do like a huge subathon, like a huge fundathon to like help me move over to Canada. Because like I would feel fucking terrible. Oh, come on, Cos, like, what have you, sweet bean? Like, you see, like, for the 120 stream streak, my god. It always blows me away the streaks people get up to on, the, like, in the stream. Because I don't necessarily think I stream that much, but then again, I guess it is, like, 4 times a week, so what? If that's, you know, if I'm streaming 4 times a week, that's, like, 30 weeks, that's, like, half a year. That's still, like, a lot, don't get me wrong, but... I feel like public transport and learning French Montreal is nice, but you want somewhere walkable, go for Victoria. Currently I'm looking mostly in Ontario for the fact that there are a lot of jobs available, and also the fact that it's closer to where I live, so you know I wouldn't be driving like 2 days to like, you know, get there. Because I will probably be bringing my car with me. Like you know, my options are either like sell the car I literally just bought earlier this year, or we're gonna D&D stuff. I'm running a D&D campaign, my first with 7 players. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay, that's difficult to manage. But if you're willing to run games with fewer, like with less than the maximum, that can be doable. If you're like, oh, it's like, okay, you know, like, you know, or like if you're doing like a split campaign where it's like every other week, like, you know, like they'll meet, you'll have like party A and party B, and in a DT campaign with 6 other players. Sorry, Morph, what are some funny builds to break shit? I am not I am by no means the master of breaking shit in D&D. I actually, like, I have very, very limited experience in terms of, like, building D&D characters. Where's my frog cake? Welcome on, Melon. What I guess we've been. I didn't realize that I was supposed to have a frog cake on offer. I mean, listen, you're a frog. You already have the frog cake. What do you mean you're trying to get second frog cake? Fucking greedy. I'm kidding, of course. But yeah, But edible cake though. But yeah, current landing spot is Ontario. I am considering also British Columbia. I don't think I'm allowed to go to Quebec because I don't speak fluent French. Like I don't think they'll let me settle there. It's my my frog day. Wait, is it actually your wait, hold on, Melon, is your birthday? Oh shit, it actually is your birthday, isn't it? Fuck. Sorry. No, you're allowed to visit at least. Welcome on, Corvin Bubbles. That is Sweet Bean. Can we shout out for Corvin Bubbles? And also, happy birthday, Melon. Hold up, I gotta do the thing. I gotta do the thing every time. Where's the thing? Melon. Why does it say it in the same energy as the like my wife? I love melon. It's great. But also welcome on a Carve Bubble. You're also gonna shout out from Lenlin. But anyways, we were gonna do song requests today, but Nightbot's not cooperating, so I love it. But happy birthday. But, I'll definitely try my best to at least visit Quebec, and that's like another like upside of like, being in Ontario is Quebec is a bit closer. The other place I was looking at was I was considering Victoria, so that would be British Columbia, but it's on the other side of the fucking. That's on the other side of Canada, which is Canada is like the United States. It's very, very big. So to some degree, I have to be cognizant of. The only request my friends have made, well, whenever you want to visit, I'm free. I will be safe from Starkey, Victoria. The only request some IRL friends have made is that I land somewhere where I have friends. So that like those are the two locations, because I know a decent number of people who live in British Columbia, and I know a decent number of people who are in the Ontario area. So both of those are relatively appealing, and of course, like since those are like two of the most populated areas, it's also like the most likely place I'll find job. Because like. I imagine, like, part of me, like, thinks it's like, okay, they're expecting me to have, like, I think it was, like, it's, like, 15,000 Canadian, in order to relocate, but I'm assuming that's, like, based off the idea that you don't have a job to immediately earn income.
Betcha Starkey still can't find Victoria on a map.
Listen, I don't need to know where I'm going until I'm going. That the process of moving to the city is its own process, and I'll learn where I'm going at that point. The great apartment reef oil spill has been cleaned up. I'm putting you on blast a little, monkey. I was hanging out with friends in a Discord call yesterday, and in the friend group chat, there's just a message from Monkey that's like, hey, semi-urgent request. How do you clean up half a gallon of olive oil spill? And it's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, it's Sunday. Please don't do this on a Sunday. Hey, Starkey, check DMs. I've sent something over DMs. What is, okay, so I've been sent 2 things by Kasai. Well, how do you? Apparently the answer is soak up a decent amount of it with towels and then put down baking soda. Where's general use? There we go. Check CMs. But I don't do commissions. Check tons. So this is something I sent from fucking. Okay, so Monkey did clean up the carpet, the carpet oil. I got sent this from Kasai, as well as a YouTube video. How healthy or unhealthy is Panda Express? I'm talking about food such as white rice, super greens, and the broccoli beef. It can't be all that bad for you, right? It's so healthy. Me and my buddies love sharing one nice big serving of rice. We blindfold ourselves and use our tongues to explore the rice itself. It's like a maze. We'd accidentally rub against a friend's tongue. That's okay. We're all here to feast. The music's loud, by the way. God damn it. Wait, how loud is the music? Where is the okay. Audio balancing things. Kill me now. Anyways. Quite? Okay, fine. I'll bring it down to a little bit more of a reasonable. That should be a little bit more reasonable. Sometimes just French or homies. Exactly. And then also, I got sent this. That's so fucking funny. That's a really goddamn funny. At what point does it not even become like let me like fix my mistake, and it just becomes the joke is the immigrants, they're coming to steal our our dead names. It's like twice, 2 times. That literally is not mathematically how it works, because I am literally like 10 decibels above it, which means it's half as loud as I am. All right, fine. I'll decrease the limiter. Anyway, literal Faye behavior. Anyways, that's better. Okay. Better. Anyways, there we go. Welcome back to Chaos. What have you, sweet pain? But you know, it's really fucking funny. It'd be a lot cooler if you just raise your own limiter instead. I mean, I could just remove the limiter. Thank you for the fix. Wait, why was that enabled? Is it still enabled? No, wait, why wasn't it? Chaos, did you enable that just to do that? The Fae learn to steal dead names and people won't, don't want them anymore. Exactly. No, the Fae would have a cottage industry these days of being like, yeah, I don't want to be called this anymore. Please take my name. No, it was enabled on its own. That's weird. Anyway, unironically, like if there's any modern day Fae, like feel free. Like I will go in on this venture with you. I will set up like the CSS. I will advertise your dead name removal service. I got 4 manga volumes for $1.23. Oh my god. Can I have your attention, Starkey? Kasa, you already took my attention. So the answer is no. Isn't that just the Fae taking names just a way of enslaving you? So the original idea of it was that like the Fae could be like, may I have your name? If you answered, they would literally take your name, at which point you effectively would lose your status as like your current status, and you would like lose access to the name. It would no longer be associated with you. But in a world where people don't want to be associated with a specific name, it's just all upside. Like the idea of like the Fae controlling you if they know your name is that like in order to get your name back, you need to do what the Fae's like whatever the Fae wants. Manga's getting more expensive. Fucking tax bump. That's fair. Also, I did read Goodbye Eri. Goodbye Eri is a fucking weird manga, because I read it and then I stared at the ceiling for like a solid like 2 minutes and I still don't really know how to feel about it. It's really good, don't get me wrong. But like it's one of those experiences where it's like, what? how am I, what are you trying to, like, you're conveying to me something very deeply personal, but also I feel like I can't understand, you know? Anyways, highly recommended. It's from the writer of Chainsaw Man. It literally opens with the movie Dead Explosion Mother. It's Cormac McCarthy levels of what the fuck. I think it captures really beautifully just like the chaos of existence. But now, like I imagine it in like. I imagine in the modern day, like if the Fae were real, like, you know, which isn't to say that there is no, like, you know, definitive proof that they are or aren't real. Insofar as that you could say if God is real, etc., etc., etc. I feel like the Fae would have a lot easier of a time nowadays than when they were, you know, when before the internet. I think it also captures that nobody ever really gets a grasp on grieving. I suppose that's fair. But yeah, Modern Fae asks you for pronouns and takes your nethers. Hey, again, that is upside for a lot of people. Just show up at the fucking the Fae meet, like, you know, the Fae swap me and be like, hey, I don't want these pronouns. Can I have the other ones? And they're like, yeah, sure, here you go. Like, do you mind if I keep these? And they're like, yeah, go for it. Like that. I wasn't using them anyways. Exactly. No one gives a fuck. Carmen, think I give some over to Wraithbond and try to get close to Sweet Bean. That's really, really sweet of you. How dare you? How dare you support me? How dare you support me in my erratic discussing of I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't know where this discussion is going, but it's going somewhere. Non-binary folk be like. I mean, listen. There's a reason that there's literally a joke based around the reason that agender, like every agender friend either has a trans friend or a like gender queer friend. Because the agender person donates their gender to the other person. How dare I support the goobird? How dare? Me when I take umbrage with people, you know, appreciating the stuff that I do. It's so weird. I want to actually, like, this is an interesting point. Because it's like, there are very real times where, like, I'm like, you know, why am I doing this whole streaming thing? Which, like, don't get me wrong. This is not me being like, oh, you know, I'm considering fucking graduating or like giving up on stream. No, that's not what's happening. I'm not like fucking like, you know, baiting that. It's more just being like, there are times where it's like really hard for me to feel good about like what I'm doing with stream. Because it's, you know, in my mind, it's the quantization. It's everything about streaming is a fucking number. And then also, like, you know, me like, oh, you know, I really wish like I could point to something that shows me as being a successful streamer. And then the fucking instant anyone goes out of the way to support me, I'm like, how dare you? I take deep umbrage with this. It's like, okay, brain, why the fuck are you like this? But no, I do sincerely appreciate the gift sub. It is basically my way of saying I appreciate the gift sub. Also, I'm gonna be a little shit about it because I struggle to accept kindness. I don't think my trans friend wants my gender. Gender is the more I've like start getting a masochist. I'm not even a masochist, I don't think. Like, maybe the only way in which I'm a masochist is I guess you could say it insofar as like I actively enjoy doing things that are difficult, like just for its own sake. As you should, you and me both. Gender, I barely know her. Gender, I hardly know her. Anyways, just give it the fucking like the New York Times, like the New York Times style, like like rich person laugh. There's a joke that's like laughs and rich, but unironically, like, and this is different than like difference between like wealth and like rich. I actually feel like rich people have like their own laugh, and I don't like it. Like I think of wealthy people as being like, yeah, they're well off, but like they don't necessarily like make it a big deal, you know. You know, their like success is not reliant on the denigration of others. Whisker, I barely know her. That's fair. That's respectful of you. You're not supposed to whisk people you barely know.
Rats, rats.
What's up, Chris?
Where the rats?
Okay, so one of our bits evolved. I'm a 6 feet 5 inches asexual masochist who doesn't feel pain and only likes women taller than him.
Yeah, Monkey's existence is suffering. Monkey is 6'5", is deeply attracted to women who are taller than him. Also, he has, at this point, almost certainly congenital insensitivity to pain. Hence the story of him lifting half a ton and then passing out and giving himself migraines for the rest of his life because he didn't feel the pain of his body trying to tell him, hey, fuckface, you're lifting too much. And then, yeah, but also he enjoys suffering, which is why he eats so much spicy food. Yeah, literally literally ignore the pain to the point of permanent brain damage. There's a reason why, like, when I tell people I'm the middle weird child, like, I'm less normal than my sister, but way, way more normal than my brother, people don't believe me. The funny thing is, in our IRL friend, like, in my friend group, I'm also, like, in the middle in terms of, like, overall normal, and I'm a gay furry on the internet. Going to college introduces you to some very bizarre people, and those very bizarre people are great. I'm sincerely blessed to have met so many amazing people in college. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that they are all very weird. I mean, the internet is where you belong, so that's not weird. I suppose that's fair. I mean, ideally, I would also like to exist in meat space. You know, I don't want to, like, I don't want my entire life to exist exclusively on the internet. That seems like some kind of, like, fucking... That seems like an episode of Black Mirror. A masochist who doesn't get bullied enough. Is that why you do what you do? Because you're desperate to get bullied more? That, like, actually makes so much sense. The Mayoris is too strong. So that's like a yes. You more or less have just said yes to me. Also, you know, coming from someone who's like, oh, I don't have any kinks, that, you know, that's a hell of a thing to confess. I'm gonna be honest with you. Kasai, I don't have kinks, but I would like to be bullied by girl bosses. Ooh. It's so funny how much of the romance manga I keep up to date on has women taller than men. It's not even something I seek out, just a survivorship bias. I mean, listen, it's at some point, like, because, you know, I don't necessarily think, you know, romance is intrinsically, like, wish fulfillment. I sincerely believe that. I believe that there is, like, romance can be very heavily wish fulfillment. I don't think me neither. Objectively not true. You complain about thinking all the fucking time, monkey. But no, I think I don't necessarily think it's intrinsically the case that all romance is wish fulfillment. But I can definitely see where that argument does apply. I'm an aspirational dumbass. You aspire to be a moron. And to be honest with you, I kind of understand it. It's the thing I keep going back to it because it keeps being consistently true. Humans desperately do not want to think. We desperately do not want to do it. Human nature is literally, like, fundamentally is like, how can I think of ways to stop thinking? And that's why alcohol exists. Welcome on, Kronos. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. It's literally like one of the first things humanity invented is alcohol. Dude, we're trying not to think. It's like, where are the Borb drones? Good question. Anyway. But yeah, no, like, I do understand it.
Wretch.
What's up, Chris?
We're the wretch.
Man thinks, how can I stop doing this?
Man thinks, God damn, I fucking hate this. How do I stop? Fellas, is it kink to acknowledge I deserve to suffer for my sins? Yes. That is, I would argue, the basis of masochism. And also, but listen, whether it's sexual or not, you are into hypnosis, and that is a kink. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. You are never gonna beat the kink-free allegations. Catholicism is indeed the source of all mass. Shut the fuck up. I hate it here. I hate it here because, like, I actually, like, don't know how I could meaningfully, like, reject that premise. Hypnosis? Yeah, Corvid? I mean, listen, as much sass as I do give my audience, apparently a substantial portion of y'all are into hypnosis, and I respect that. This has been noted, Corvid. I respect this. It is a respect-worthy kink. To be fair, alcohol was truly invented as having a way to store and drink things, thusly, because water was not great most of the time, and we just happened to find the poison that felt good in low doses. I suppose you're mostly right. But also, I think inebriation and alcoholism are proof that, that happy accident has not been ignored. Hypno-corruption are the I want to stop feeling guilty over my own desires kinks. You're not wrong. Welcome on Inside Venture. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. TF and hypnosis are my vice. My socials speak for themselves. Understandable. I can agree with the appeal of them. There's definitely something, like, it's a combination of being like, you don't have to feel guilty for the thing you're attracted to, and also the appeal of, like, the power dynamics. Which, I'll be honest with you, I think like 90% of kinks are just an expression of, like, I think power dynamics are hot. I think that's like 90% of kinks is just like, ooh, power dynamics. I remember a WoW guildmate admitted that he, growing up gay in a Catholic school, the big muscles, sin-punishing gargoyles gave him the most confused boner. Fair enough. My poisonous bastard, the appeal of latex, TF, and hypno is the most prominent. Fair enough. Hunter-gatherer, surprise alcohol, agrarian society, intentional alcohol. I suppose, yeah, that's like a good point. It's like, at some point, like, if it were merely just like, let's have a potable liquid, they would stop at low alcohol percentages that were safe to drink. But no, they concentrated that shit. I think we're seeing that was people getting drunk out of their mind by eating old fruit off the ground. But yeah, no. I can definitely find the appeal of, like, I have this kink that, like, I want to enjoy, but I also feel guilty about for whatever reason, whether it be, like, internalized homophobia or whatever, and then just the ability to be like, yeah, me dumb. Me no worry about dumb human, thing. Alcohol is delicious to most. I suppose, like, maybe that's the crux of, like, the human desire to just not think about shit. The masculine desire to just have no thoughts, brain empty. Ooh, werewolf energy. But no, like, cause, like, I was actually having, whose chat was I having this conversation? Was it actually on stream? I can't remember. Where, like, we discussed the idea of, like, is kink, like, just a means of achieving intimacy by discussing things in private? Where, like, like, is it, like, oh, the people who, like, you know, people who grow up in cultures where you know, open breasts aren't considered taboo, like they don't view them as sexual objects. Hold up. The pieces are coming together a little bit. Are people who are afraid of sex just deeply kinky and afraid that their kink is going to become so normalized that it's not special anymore? I mean this sincerely. This isn't a bit. I actually wonder if that's the case. If only werewolves. My interest in hypnosis is you're telling me I can just relax and reprogram my brain. I've been doing it manually this whole time. If only werewolves existed, there may be high mauling deaths, but it's from assholes pissing off said werewolves. Because, like, if the, like, unironically the best way to desexualize things is to just make them a part of normal day-to-day activities, why are people so obsessed with removing them from the general gaze? Like, if... No, their kink is abstinence and kink-shaming kinksters. Well, like, because that's the thing. It's like, if they actually are doing that, I guess, like, they're perpetuating the kinks that they can then shame. Welcome on, Lazy Cat. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. This is one of those things about human nature that, like, I you know, humans do shit irrationally all the time. But, like, I actually am curious if there's, like, a logistically consistent reason for why people are the way that they are. Like, yeah, if you wanted to, like, okay, so, like, there's the idea of, like, oh, I don't want women to be treated like sex objects, like, you know, as an excuse to prevent them from, you know, to be like, oh, you know, breasts out in public, that you can't do that. But, like, that's objectively speaking the opposite of what we should be doing if we want to desexualize, like, if we want to take femininity from being a sex attribute to something that's generally understood and appreciated. Is there, like, some kind of, like, fucking cabal of secret deep kinksters that exists exclusively to perpetuate their favorite kinks, and can only do so by ensuring that they continue to remain taboo? A friend told me that kinks develop mainly to fill a hole you feel you lack in your life somewhere, whether it be safety, control, etc. So maybe it's not even, like, maybe it's one of those things where it's like kinks don't, like in a society where we actually felt like we had the ability to self-actualize, kinks wouldn't appear because we wouldn't be lacking. Honestly, if the Shimoneta law passed, I'm fucking ready to mass produce non-safe work images to throw off buildings. Starting back in middle school, I had programmed my brain to be immune to peer pressure. I'm 26 and I'm suffering being immune to peer pressure. I mean, listen, I'm immune to peer pressure, and, like, I actually think it's a relatively good thing. Even at 26, like, there are upsides to be like, yeah, I'm not interested in doing this, thank you. It's all about, like, how you respond to it, though, because I'm just like, hey, I appreciate you for trying to involve me. This is something that does not appeal to me. Thank you sincerely for the invite, but I will have to decline. I'm immune to peer pressure because I like avoiding people IRL, to be honest. That's also fair. I mean, to be fair, like, I'm also of the opinion that, like, and, like, I don't even, like, this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I genuinely think, society today only functions because it perpetuates human suffering. Like, the work from home changes are the thing that most objectively speaking, I was like, okay, there's no reason for you to be doing this, besides the fact that, like, it makes people's lives worse, and therefore they have to spend money to, like, not feel a shit about their lives. It's like life would be easier if we care what society thought, even slightly. I don't necessarily agree. I think that there is like, you know, I think that it's one of those things where it's like, if you, how do I, like, to some degree, I don't want to be like, we live in a society, like, you know, we live in a society, like Joker style fucking, like, no, that's not what I'm trying to get at. I think that, the one-size-fits-all idea of society is like, okay, if we lived in a society that genuinely was like a holistic approach towards human well-being, I could agree. But I think we live in a society where it's very much like one size fits all. You know, the idea of like, you know, like why was I born? Well, it's because my parents were told that that's just what you do when you reach a certain age. You have kids, you settle down, you buy a home, etc., etc., etc. Like I think my mom very, very deeply loves the idea of caring for people, so I think she would have had kids even in a world where like it was acceptable to like focus on personal development as a woman. But like I don't necessarily know that that's the case for everyone. I hate that we live in an idiot-riddle world. Yeah, trust me, I'm right there with ya. That's why I'm trying to relocate to an area with a lower density of moron per capita. And like that is, to be fair, like, you know, Canada has its own morons, but like, you know, it's a statistical average. People are too cynical and hateful these days. Because here's the thing, I don't even necessarily agree that like that is the case, because I do think that there is deep within all of us a desire for human connection, and the only way to go about acquiring that is to be authentic. You're not going to form a genuine human connection by being cynical, by being sarcastic. It needs to be allow the good idiots like himbos. But you know, like I think that there's like an authentic desire for connection from everyone, even the people who are like, you know, even the people who are like asocial or antisocial. Like I think deep down there is like that desire to interact with other people, to experience, like to have someone to validate their experiences, you know? And that might be just one of those things where it's like, it's me. I want someone to validate my experiences. You know? Like, Comey, that reminds me of when Toby Fox put the Undertale questionnaire a couple weeks ago. The Undertale question, or do you mean the, like, memories thing that Toby Fox did? For me, it felt so refreshing to see a game that was so sincerely unapologetic about itself. Yeah. Sincerely, I actually deeply agree. And I think that, like, you know, I more or less wrote as much in my, like, memory to be like, hey, like, this is more or less, like, a turning point in my life to recognize that sarcasm and insincerity, like, is a coping mechanism for sure, but just like any coping mechanism, you gotta make sure that you're using it smart, or else it hurts more than it helps. I didn't get to finish mine because I felt like I couldn't share anything about myself without hiding behind irony or sarcasm. Huge fucking same. Huge same. I completely get where you're coming from. But like, I don't necessarily, like, the idea that, like, everyone is intrinsically cynical, I can see, like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's like that as a ideology or as like a viewpoint is clearly informed by dealing with people, because it's really easy to see the world and decide that everyone's just universally cynical. But I think a lot of it comes down to people just not really knowing how to engage authentically, you know? I sincerely, like, I wonder what I genuinely wonder what society would have looked like if we didn't have entire generations across the world poisoned by lead, you know? Because, like, one of the things associated with lead poisoning is, like, more antisocial behavior. The idea that, like, you can't have that, like, sincere connection because ultimately in doing so you're being vulnerable. And antisocial behavior results in people taking advantage of vulnerability. So everyone becomes this, like, clammed up shell of, like, self-loathing, you know? Which is, like, understandable, but really fucking sad. And that's, like, you know, welcome on, Amber. It's gonna be a sweet bean. That's kind of, like, why I'm glad that, like, like, you know, from all the like bullshit of like, oh, you know, Gen Z, like, you know, Gen Z and millennials being heavily disenfranchised by previous generations, I am genuinely quite happy to see that like there is shit talking going on between millennials and Gen Z, because of course there was going to be, and there's shit talking between Gen Z and Gen Alpha, but largely I think that's more of the exception than the rule. I don't like that we get our whimsy and wonder either beaten out or starved from lack of curiosity and fun things. Yeah, it's not a great system, I'll agree for sure. But yeah, I sincerely believe that, like, I will discuss things that I'm like, okay, this is something about Gen Alpha that I think is worthy of keeping in mind, because like Gen Alpha got kind of fucked. Gen Z got deeply fucked by the COVID pandemic, but Gen Alpha is, you know, the degree of damage that the COVID pandemic did to Gen Alpha will not be felt for at least a decade. And it's to be fair, like, or like rather the true degree of damage that was dealt to Gen Alpha because of COVID won't be felt for a decade. But it's already showing itself, you know? And so my Winter Whimsy is on a life support and I'm trying to revive it. I think there's genuinely like, because I couldn't necessarily tell you how to go about getting your Winter Whimsy back. I definitely still have mine. There was a moment at one point where, like, you know, like, because, you know, the idea of like, oh, aliens officially being confirmed is like, you know, somewhat of a big deal, but it's hard to like really think about that when everything is going wrong around us. My brain finally sat down and like really thought about like what that means, and like, you know, alien human communication, what does that look like? Like, you know, exploring the ideas of like another sapient life form that experienced a different, you know, evolutionary pressures than us, and how cool that must be. You know, being able to interact with them seems fucking kick-ass, but also, you know, I'll probably die without getting the chance because, you know, we're all going to die. But also, like, you know, I'm fucking speedrunning the process of living, which is to say I will die soon. Have you considered writing or shrooms? I unironically think that there is... I mean, objectively speaking, there is very, very clear medicinal use cases for certain drugs. Shrooms, I believe, has, like, recorded use cases for, like, dealing with, like, cluster headaches. Which was very, very relieving to me as a kid, because when I learned what cluster headaches were, I had, like, an anxiety attack. They are sometimes referred to as suicide headaches, because they are so painful that... I believe the like colloquialism is they're so painful you will consider if death can cure a headache. I wish aliens are real and far more advanced than humans, just so I can get abducted and put in a personalized human enclosure with another guy. I'm like, yeah, like, listen, aliens. At this point, like, look at what humanity has done to itself. We're pretty clearly a fucking chattel, like, you know. We're pretty clearly a chattel species, I'm gonna be honest with you. Just, like, fucking, like, bring us onto the spaceships, have us do, like, you know, whatever, make sure that we don't get too concentrated because we start doing dumb shit. treat us like you would, like, a fucking, like the way that we treat, like, dogs. You know? It's like, yeah, like, we are capable of doing tasks, I promise, but also you do have to account for the fact that we're fucking idiots. I've checked to see if bullets can cure headaches, but I'm having a hard time getting responses from my patients. I'm simple, easy to play, and keep docile. Yeah. Just give us, like, something cute to attach ourselves to, and then a bunch of tasks, and we'll be fine. We'll be content. Humans, pretty easy to manage, all things considered. Right under an alien's handbag and yapping at everything in range. Give me a dog and... Yeah, that's literally, like, Monkey has gone on record saying it's like, the only things I want in life are books and a dog. And he can have neither. Because the economy is in shambles. Despite my enigmas mind, I'm simple as fuck. But also, like, it does go to the idea of, like, yeah, humans really don't want to fucking think. Humans are desperate to not actually apply brain effort. So, like, you know, it again goes back to the idea of, like, a chattel species. We will be thriving. This is, of course, mostly joking in case, you know, some aliens are like, let's tune into this fucking random-ass stream for advice on how to interact with humans. I'm like, it's like 70% a joke. I think humans are surprisingly easy to manage. So long as you provide basic needs. Kind of kobold core in a way. What's an ass stream, and how does one differ from a regular ass stream? Oh, I fucking misread that. I can just hunker down with some manga, books, anime, and a soft link while playing games and watching alien live streams. I mean, listen, considering the fact that when they announce, like, oh, aliens are real, they also have to be like, yeah, please stop. You can't have sex with the aliens. I do think the dog comparison is a bit apt, a bit more apt than maybe I gave myself initial credit for. All right, roof icings. Why are there 5 of you? In Europe, they got government-issued coochie, and I'm crying because I can't afford a dog. That's, what? I'm confusion? The fuck you mean, government-issued coochie? Shit, does that mean I can't go to Europe because I'm gay? You know, what was it, the Legally Blonde musical lied to me? I can't be gay and European. I've never felt so betrayed by a blonde woman. That's objectively not true. What is the most betrayed I felt like by a blonde woman? That's way too accurate, to be honest. Like, we have monster fuckers, robot fuckers, inanimate object fuckers, and even alien fuckers. Of course, the government would tell us not to fuck the aliens. Apparently, whatever Shy Lily lives, you get an annual government coochie quota because they consider it a human right. Like, the government will give you a coochie pass for a brothel. That's kick-ass, actually. I respect that. I mean, to be fair, that is, in fact, one way to cure the incel problem. It's just, you know, it's like, okay, here, have whatever you want, like, go for it, celebrate. Just stop being fucking weird about it, man. I say that, but most of those people would probably get banned from brothels. Airdrop cooch, fix the incels. Oh wait, I'm trying. Did we ban coochie because of the 1.6 kilograms of clitoris? I can't remember. Or was that banned for its own reason? It's fine. It's probably fine. My banned word list has got to be a fucking, like, nightmare. Yeah, how's everyone's week been going? How's everyone's weekend? This weekend was just relaxing for me. I do wish I could have gotten more job applications in this episode of Monkey Finds the Automod Cooch. I had a double take because I just closed out Terraria and heard this play on stream. I thought it was still on. You see, it's funny because it is still on. And how do I know that? Because I'm in your walls, you see. but no, like weekends are usually tamed. That's fair. I mean, there's as someone who's been dealing with some pretty fucking busy weekends, you gotta appreciate the relaxing weekends when they do happen. Because my busy ass will never understand the idea of like a relaxed weekend ever. I had fun this weekend, planned some bowling for next month. Hell yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, I guess to be fair, next weekend is Indie FurCon, so I'm gonna be going to that. But otherwise, I don't have any like plans for immediately for other weekends, so I suppose that's a sign that I should probably like take care of myself. You know, that fucking that accursed activity that people have to do. Last night I had a pretty bad summer heat somnia. That is entirely fair. Apparently it's like, that's what you think, motherfucker. Heat somnia is the worst. I have not had to deal with it since I got my cooling blanket. I highly recommend getting a cooling blanket if you can. Awesome, we're about to run our first set of ads. We run those every hour to turn off pre-rolls. People don't have to deal with the ads as soon as they join the stream. Highly recommend it. If you can get a heated blanket or a cooling blanket, it is a purchase that I would happily make again. I'm thinking about hydrate. Yep. I applied for one job I need to go through. It's weird because like I'm signed up for like the like okay, you know, a little bit inside baseball in terms of like relocating. I signed up for the I get a cooling blanket, but I'm also in deep save mode. That's also fair. I am also in deep save mode, and there's constantly shit. I'm like, they're fucking they made the 80 plush from like the 80 from Amber Isle, and I really fucking want it, but I can't justify spending that money right now because I actually really need to be saving. You need an affiliate link for that shit?
Rats.
What's up, Chris?
Where the rats?
Stocky, sir, do you think I can make it as a streamer to help with the rampant lab costs?
I mean,
I'll give it a shot anyway.
well, not with not with the internet here, unfortunately. That's the problem, Chris. I actually like. It bums me out that I can't, like, you know, one of the nice things about knowing that I'm going to be relocating soon is the fact that like I will be able to go to a place that has better internet. It's like that is genuinely something that I get to look forward to, is being like, yeah, I can finally actually like stream at the quality I want to. But yeah, like, I need to probably do some more looking for jobs. Also, yeah, there are the ads. So I heard that South Korea has the fastest internet in the world. I don't believe it. Because like it's one of those things where it's like South Korea is, it's like in regards to like size / population density, it is similar to Japan, but it's not an island like Japan is, which means it's a little bit easier to lay fiber optic. So it makes sense that Korea would be have like the average highest internet speeds. How's this? If I get the job, I'll give you the funds for the 80 plush instead of the 10 subs. I think even it, like, here's the thing. I don't necessarily know, like, you spend it however you feel. I'm not about to be like, hey, here's what you should do with your money, you know? But no, like, I do need to, like, probably buckle down and put more applications in. I did get invited to apply to one place already, which was surprisingly quick. You know, given my history of you know, applying for jobs here in the States. Wait, hold up. Is the fucking okay? The bot's now working. Thank you, Nightbot. I really appreciate you not working at the very beginning of stream. Anyways. Very cool. Wait, why is it? Did the bot just did the bot ban Swari? Oh, okay, there we go. I was like, did the bot ban Swariel? But no, like, I'm trying to think of where I was at. But yeah, no, I need to probably, like, keep an eye out. It's weird because, like, there's actually, like, a bunch of different, like, you know, I'm searching on, like, the Canadian Job Bank, which is, like, associated with the, like, actual Canadian government. And, like, that's, you know, that's, like, handy for sure. But also, like, I'm technically, I'm coming in through the, like, the express entry for skilled workers. But in order to do that, I need to, like, I put in an application and they I think they pull at specific times to, like, offer people entry. I think the bot's struggling a bit. I moved somewhere with 5 gigabits per second internet. Okay, the bot do seem to be struggling a touch, so do be patient with it. But yeah, no, because the first job offered is unfortunately gonna be a pay cut if I take it, which I'm already like, I'm more or less like at the limit of like what I think is like a livable wage. And things are intrinsically going to be a little bit more expensive in Canada. So I'm like, I don't necessarily think you know, unless I can talk to them to be like, hey, you know, it's doing fine for me. Seems my bot has latency. It's very, very weird. Nightbot's doing some weird stuff. Anyways, it's time for the Schwamp.